The NBA All-Star reserve list is out or whatever. Kawhi Leonard somehow, some way, is not going to be in the All-Star game, which is just mind-boggling. And, of course, people are making the comparison that his numbers are way better than LeBron's. He's played in more games than LeBron, all those things.
Rob Parker just came out and said what everyone's been thinking, but nobody wanted to say out loud. The NBA forced LeBron James into the All-Star game over Kawhi Leonard. And it wasn't even close when you look at the actual numbers. The fans didn't vote for him, his own peers didn't vote for him, but somehow he's going to his 22nd All-Star game while Kawhi is sitting at home. Let's break down why this is one of the most obvious examples of the league protecting its golden boy.
It's easier to go, we'll put LeBron in because all the stuff I mentioned, 23 years of this, he's been the face of the league, this might be the last one, get him in. This is politics as usual, meaning this is sometimes I got to make a move as either Adam Silver, commissioner of a league, or owners or coaches that make sense for the league. And putting him in there, if this is his last one, it's in LA, it makes sense. We're going to right or wrong, maybe they feel that the fans didn't vote him in, and we're going to take care of him.
Drop a comment right now and tell me, do you think LeBron actually deserved that All-Star spot? Or is this just the NBA doing him a favor on his way out?
So the question becomes...
What's the question, Rob G?
How the hell did LeBron James get the nod over Kawhi Leonard?
And you know what?
What?
Because the NBA forced the issue and put him in with the idea that maybe this is going to be it, that maybe he's not going to... That he's not going to play after this year, that this is a real possibility.
All right, so the NBA All-Star reserves got announced, and LeBron James made his 22nd All-Star appearance. Congratulations to him. That's a record, blah, blah, blah. But here's what nobody's talking about enough. Kawhi Leonard got completely snubbed despite having better numbers in basically every statistical category that matters. And Rob Parker called it out for exactly what it is. The NBA forcing the issue because they think this might be LeBron's last season.
The All-Star reserves were announced over the weekend, and you mentioned it. LeBron James was the big headliner, right? 22nd NBA All-Star game appearance for him. Congratulations to LeBron. Obviously, it's a big accomplishment. It extends his record that he's already had for about 2 years now. But if you do a quick Google search, when you search LeBron James All-Star, the top search that comes right after that is... how did LeBron get in over Kawhi Leonard? Because if you mentioned it, Rob, you look down the stats, Kawhi Leonard has him beat on every major statistical category, save for assists per game. LeBron's got that. And field goal percentage, which LeBron is up by 0.5%.
That's it.
But in terms of games played, points, rebounds, steals, blocks, three-point, free throw, box plus minus, VORP, everything favors Kawhi Leonard. In fact, Kawhi Leonard is averaging a career-high 27.7 points per game.
Let's just run through the numbers real quick because they're ridiculous. Kawhi Leonard beats LeBron in points per game, rebounds, steals, blocks, three-point percentage, free throw percentage, box plus minus, and basically every advanced metric you can think of. The only things LeBron has on him are assists per game and field goal percentage by 0.5%. 0.5%. That's the margin we're working with here. Kawhi is averaging a career-high 27.7 points per game. He's on track to join the exclusive 50-40-90 club, which only about 10 players in NBA history have ever done. He currently leads the entire league in steals. This is the kind of season people talk about years down the line as one of the best individual performances of someone's career. And he's not going to the All-Star game in his home arena. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. The All-Star game is being held at the Intuit Dome, which is the Clippers' home court. Kawhi Leonard plays for the Clippers. He's also from Southern California, specifically Riverside, though Rob G got real spicy about whether that counts as Los Angeles or not. The point is, this man is playing the best basketball of his life in front of his home crowd, and he's not going to be in the All-Star game. Make that make sense.
The fans didn't vote him in, knowing that this could be the last one too. His own players and peers didn't vote him in. And the idea that the NBA took it, the fans and the players already spoke. It would have been easy not to have him this time because everybody else has spoken. The fans. We're all the LeBron fans. There's nothing but all these. LeBron's my GOAT. Dude, he got 1.5 million less votes, and Luka got 1.5 million more votes than he did when he was in Dallas. So they went somewhere, right, the votes, and they could have easily said, you know what? The people have spoken. His peers have spoken. We don't need to get involved in this, and yet they still did it, and I think it stinks.
Rob Parker's theory is that the NBA looked at this situation and said, you know what? This might be LeBron's last year, so we need to get him in there. And you know what? That actually makes sense when you think about how the voting played out. The fans didn't vote LeBron in. He got 1.5 million fewer votes than he did in previous years. His own peers, the players who actually have to compete against him, didn't vote him in either. So the fans spoke and the players spoke, and both groups said, nah, not this year. That gave the NBA the perfect out if they wanted to use it. They could have easily said, the people have spoken, his peers have spoken, we don't need to get involved. But they didn't do that. They went ahead and put him in anyway through the coaches' vote, which, let's be honest, the league has influence over. They forced the issue because they wanted LeBron in that game regardless of what anyone else thought.
You spent 20 years in Detroit. And you know what, people, I'm mad that my stepfather, dang it, I'm going to say it for him. 50 years he worked at the GM plant there. And you know what they didn't give him? They didn't give him a parting gift. They didn't give him a gold watch. They didn't give him a Cadillac. You've been making Cadillacs for 50 years. Here's a Cadillac on your way out.
They could at least given him the bumper or something.
Give him a ceremonial
they gave him
gold
nothing?
steering wheel or something.
He didn't get anything.
No, I'm serious. And so my point is, this is the NBA's version of, hey, you put in the NBA version of 50 years with this league. Here you go. Go ahead and get in this All-Star game. You've been carrying the league. You've been the face of the league for better or for worse for the last couple of decades.
The comparison Rob Parker made was actually perfect. He talked about his stepfather who worked at a GM plant in Detroit for 50 years. The man spent half a century making Cadillacs, and when he retired, they didn't give him anything. No gold watch, no parting gift, not even a ceremonial steering wheel. Nothing. And Rob's point is that this All-Star selection is the NBA's version of the gold watch they give to loyal employees on their way out the door. LeBron has been the face of the league for better or worse for the last couple decades. He's done the commercials, he's been out front promoting the NBA, he's been the guy they lean on for marketing and publicity. So now that he's potentially on his way out, they're giving him this last All-Star appearance as a thank you for his service. That's what this is. It's not about merit or performance this season, it's about legacy and history. The problem is that Kawhi Leonard is the one paying the price for the NBA's sentimentality. The man is having an incredible season and carrying the Clippers after they started 6-21. They looked completely dead in the water early in the season. Everyone was ready to blow it up, fire Ty Lue, tell James Harden to retire, the whole 9 yards. But Kawhi went on this absolute tear, and now they're 23-29, which isn't great, but it's way better than where they were. They've gone 17-8 in their last 25 games, and they're fighting for a play-in spot. Kawhi looks like he's back in Toronto right now. He's playing at that championship level we saw a few years ago. He's been absolutely spectacular. But here's the thing that Rob Parker pointed out, and I think he's onto something. LeBron's history got him into the All-Star game, but Kawhi's history got him left out. What's Kawhi known for besides being a great player? Load management. Being injured all the time. Playing well for a stretch and then disappearing for weeks. Never talking to the media. Having zero personality that the league can market. That stuff works against you when it comes to subjective decisions like All-Star selections. It's easier for the NBA to say, let's put LeBron in because he's been the face of the league, than it is to advocate for a guy who barely says 2 words and is constantly managing his health. The lack of personality thing is real. Barry Sanders never said anything either, and people loved him, but that was different. When you think of Barry Sanders, you think of highlights and greatness. When people think of Kawhi Leonard, the first thing that comes to mind is load management and sitting out games. That's not fair to Kawhi because he's been healthy this year and playing great, but that's the perception. Although I will say, Kawhi did give us the greatest laugh in sports media history. That clip of him laughing during an interview is absolute gold. I'm a fun guy, and then that ridiculous laugh that sounds like a malfunctioning robot. That thing played on every sports show for months. But even that became a meme about how awkward and weird he is, rather than endearing him to fans in the league. Here's the really crazy part. The Clippers don't have a single player in the All-Star game. Not Kawhi, not James Harden, who also got in. Nobody. Steve Ballmer spent billions on that new arena, and they're hosting an All-Star game with 0 representatives from the home team. That's embarrassing. They might as well kick the Clippers mascot out of the building during the game at this point. The politics of it all is what really gets me. This is what Rob Parker called politics as usual, referencing that Jay-Z song. Sometimes the commissioner or the owners or whoever's making these decisions has to do what makes sense for the league, even if it's not what makes sense based on merit. And putting LeBron in this All-Star game, if it's his last one in Los Angeles, makes sense from a business and marketing perspective, even if it doesn't make sense basketball-wise. There's also this quiet part that Rob mentioned that's interesting. He suggested that maybe the NBA doesn't really want Kawhi there anyway. Maybe they don't want to feature a guy who doesn't do interviews, doesn't promote the league, doesn't engage with fans the way other stars do. Kawhi has gone out of his way to be kind of adversarial to the whole celebrity-athlete thing. He just wants to play basketball and go home, which is fine, but the NBA is an entertainment business. When you've got 2 guys and you have to pick one, and one guy has been doing commercials and speaking at press conferences and being the face of your league for 20 years, while the other guy barely acknowledges the media exists, which one are you going to choose? That's the calculation the NBA made. Right or wrong, they chose the guy who's been a team player off the court, even if he's not having the better season on it. The defensive medicine aspect of this is real too. If a doctor follows an algorithm and something goes wrong, they can point to the system and say they followed protocol. Same thing here. If LeBron gets left out of the All-Star game and there's a massive backlash from casual fans who don't follow the stats, the NBA takes heat. But if they put him in and people complain that Kawhi got snubbed, they can point to LeBron's legacy and say, this might be his last one. We had to honor that. The fans' voting is interesting when you break it down. LeBron got 1.5 million fewer votes than he's gotten in the past. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic got 1.5 million more votes than when he was in Dallas. Those votes went somewhere. The LeBron fans are supposedly everywhere, right? LeBron's my GOAT, this and that. But when it came time to actually vote, they didn't show up in the numbers they used to. That tells you something about where public opinion actually is versus where the media narrative wants it to be. The player vote is even more telling. These are the guys who compete against LeBron night in and night out. They see him up close. They know what level he's actually playing at this season, and they didn't vote for him. That's pretty damning when your own peers don't think you deserve to be there. But the NBA overruled both the fans and the players to make sure LeBron got in anyway. You can make the argument that All-Star games are meaningless exhibitions and none of this matters. And sure, that's true to some extent. But it also matters for legacy and honors and Hall of Fame credentials down the line. Being a 22-time All-Star sounds a lot more impressive than 21-time All-Star. These selections get used in debates about greatness for decades after players retire. So, yeah, it does matter, even if the game itself is just a showcase. The Clippers' turnaround this season makes the Kawhi snub even worse. They were absolutely terrible to start the year. 621 is a disaster. Everyone thought the season was over and they should start tanking for draft picks. But Kawhi elevated his game and dragged them back to relevance. They're not going to win a championship or anything, but they're in the play-in hunt, and that's entirely because of what Kawhi has done over the last 2 months. Compare that to LeBron's Lakers, who have been mediocre all season and are sitting in a similar position in the standings. The Clippers have actually been better lately, and Kawhi's individual numbers blow LeBron's out of the water. But LeBron gets the All-Star nod because of what he did in 2012 or 2016 or whenever. That's not how it's supposed to work. All-Star selections are supposed to be about what you're doing this season, not a Lifetime Achievement Award. Although, apparently, that's exactly what this is, a Lifetime Achievement Selection. The NBA version of giving someone a gold watch after 50 years of service. Except, instead of a watch, it's an All-Star jersey, and instead of 50 years, it's 23 seasons. But the principle is the same. This is a thank you from the league to LeBron for being their guy all these years. The scandal thing Rob mentioned is interesting too, though I don't know if there's anything to that. The idea that maybe the NBA doesn't want Kawhi front and center because of potential off-court issues seems like a reach. But it does make you wonder if there are other factors beyond just basketball that go into these decisions. Politics, marketability, personality, history with the league. All of that stuff probably plays a role even if it shouldn't. So there you have it. Rob Parker called out the NBA for forcing LeBron into the All-Star game over Kawhi Leonard, and he's absolutely right. This was a legacy pick, not a merit pick. If you agree that Kawhi got robbed, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if you think the NBA was right to honor LeBron's career, or if they should have just gone with whoever actually deserved it this season.